Hi, and welcome to an Organized Chaos podcast. I'm Bobby Quarters. Chaos is here with me as well. We just wanted to thank you for watching.
Yes. Hey, Bobby.
And hey, and while you're here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You could follow me on YouTube as well as Chaos and the podcast channel, which all three of those channels will be streaming this very show you're about to watch. All these counselors start dropping dead, left and right. Heinous killings. Turns out, that kid who drowned the year before, his mother came back to that camp and exacted revenge.
You all came highly recommended. No real names, no backstories, no cell phones.
So whose kid is she?
A very wealthy man who's about to be $50 million poor.
I'm here to make sure you're safe.
What's your name? Mine's Abigail.
You can call me Joey. Do you know what a pinky promise is? If you behave and do as we say, I pinky promise you, it'll all be over soon.
I'm sorry about what's gonna happen to you.
What the fuck?
Things haven't been okay for months, and I have been blaming you.
You're more of a liability than a hero. Because you refused to. Let me go with you, just to watch your back.
Clark?
Get back! This is a national security situation.
No, it is a family situation.
This is the work of Sauron.
Our armies cannot defeat him. Once the deceiver obtains a being's trust, he gains the ability to sculpt their very thoughts.
You are wise to fear these rings. In Sauron's hands, they could work an evil beyond reckoning. Sooner or later, Sauron's eye bores a hole. The rest of him slithers in.
You sought peace. I gave it to you.
Who are you, truly?
I am the one keeping the storm at bay. You think it was only you who put yourself in my power? Galadriel.
I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Right. Fucking thing sucks.
Yeah, I guess we'll do it live, Bobby. Why
Yeah,
not?
that was me like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, we'll do it live. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
I mean, heck, we're a few minutes late, and that's actually partially like me because, like, I'm running slow today. So just FYI, if I'm a little zony today on stream, I'm here. I'm fine. I'm just it happens.
It does.
Yes, but hey,
I think maybe it's you might just be decompressing from this massive heat wave we've been going through.
That's true. Like, it was only like 80 when I got into karting. I was like, wow, it's like cold. Because, like, I know Friday, like, it was over 100. Like, I had to sit in the car with my daughter waiting for my son to get let out of school. AC full blast in the car for like almost 2 hours. Still didn't catch up to how hot it was. Yeah, it's been warm here. But Anyways, yes. Hello, low water mark. Yeah, we will discuss Abigail. Abigail is actually a movie we kind of wanted to cover, but then like they started announcing it and like it was coming out too fast to actually properly schedule it. But now
Yeah.
there's Abigail, like part of the cast is gonna be at the Horror Hound that we're covering here in like 2 weeks. And it's like
So it's like, we might as well just watch it.
Let's go back and watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we could like have at least sit in on the panel for it and
Yeah.
have some decent stuff, which I actually have some questions about. Like, are we going to go more into this exact crime family that uses it? Yeah, like.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely get into it. I looked it up. The panel will be everybody except the Run woman, who is also an Ant-Man in Quantumania, whose name is not clicking for me. But yes.
Oh, she had to cancel?
No, she'll be there. She just isn't going to be at the panel.
Probably cross-scheduling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's another one of those things. So, like, they have the Nightmare panel, obviously, but Robert Englund is not going to be at that panel either, which... And that one just said because he's signing. Because he...
I thought that's why they were selling tickets so he could be at the panel.
No, no. That says specifically he's not going to be at the panel. They're selling tickets to the panel.
That's whack. No. He was selling tickets for autographs.
Oh,
his website. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Have you looked into his? Like,
no. I'm sure it's expensive, but yeah,
I think last time I checked, it's like $150 for Robert himself.
Yeah.
And I think for $20 more for him to be as Freddy.
Oh.
Like he'll put on like the glove. He'll put on like the glove.
So is that the photo op?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think. I'm not going for that one.
Yeah.
I'm just also trying to get caught up on our comments here.
Well, honestly, I'm probably just gonna get Kevin Smith and call it a day.
Jay
as
and Bob.
I love Robert.
Yeah, Jay and Bob. I'm definitely gonna try and like maybe get like Jason Lee's and Ethan Suplee's to sign some My Name Is Earl stuff, and maybe Crabman too, since they're all gonna be there.
Yeah. That panel is gonna be all three of them, so yay.
Yeah, the My Name Is Earl panel. Not really horror related, but all three of them are there.
It's Mallrats. I'm going to the Mallrats panel.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, the Mallrats. Yeah, the Mallrats panel. Yeah, that one is. I mean, that one will be good.
Yeah, that's not a horror panel either, but I mean, they're there.
They're there. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think it's coming up on an anniversary of that. God, do you know that place is going to go crazy when Kevin walks into that room?
Yeah. I was just thinking, it's too bad Michael Rooker isn't there because, like, he would have lots of horror experience.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be too tempted to buy a bag of chocolate-covered pretzels.
Oh, God, that's just wrong. No.
Have him and Jason Lee sign it. I was trying to think of, like, my favorite Jason Lee roles.
God, Mallrats would probably be up there, even though.
Yeah, Mallrats is up there. Another one is his role in Almost Famous.
Yeah.
Chef BB.
And yeah, Dermot, I wanted to answer your question real fast. The answer is yes. Well, I was thinking we'd probably get to Rings of Power at the end, but yes, we will be spoiling the first 3 episodes. I don't know if there's really there's definitely something big that happens after episode 1. For the most part, the 3 episodes are kind of just set up though, so it's not like massive spoilers. There's just one pretty substantial thing, I'll say. I guess, do we want to roll into it? Do you want to just dive right into Abigail?
Yeah, let's dive into Abigail.
Okay, so I don't even have this set up to share screen, but yeah, so like this is a movie we definitely wanted to cover and then just didn't get around to, and then now this opportunity is coming out at Horror Hound, and it's like, whoa, shit, we should do it now. But yeah, this is, and I will say, like there's some movie when it came out, the filmmakers were complaining that the trailers revealed too much. Essentially, they didn't want revealed that it was a vampire story.
Yeah.
And upon watching it, I completely get that, because like there are indications that there's supernatural shit, but
how the reveal of it is done
Yeah,
I could see why like the trailers would kind of spoil that a little.
yeah.
Now, getting into more spoiler territory with it, Mr. Esposito also being one
Yeah.
who ended up working for the girl who was like a hitman for some mafia guy that we get to
Yeah.
see very briefly at the end. But
Yeah.
I just want to say more that there's a form of organized crime in this world that is vampires, and that
Yeah. Apparently, yes.
I'd love to know more about that, please.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean,
elaborate on that, please.
so I mean, there was a couple things that interesting. Number one, like say that the trailer spoiled too much. Sure, I like when I watched the trailer, I was like, this looks kind of cool. I kind of want to check it out.
Yeah.
And also finding out it's essentially the team behind the last two Scream movies. I'm like, last two Scream movies are pretty good. I'm kind of game. Kind of annoyed with the studio for kind of shoving them out. Like it's like they did the whole thing with Melissa Barra being trying to call her anti-Semitic just because she was posting pro ceasefire stuff, which is such bullshit. And it really seemed like they were probably doing some sort of publicity stunt to just kick out the new crew for Scream. Try to have a reason to kick out the new crew for Scream, because for the most part, the last two Scream movies are decently well received.
Yeah, like
just so they can bring back the classic people. Yeah,
they don't have a lot of hatred now.
No. If we're talking hatred towards Scream movies, I mean, it's not even close. It's Scream 3.
Okay. Yeah, but that's what happens when a studio meddles too much with the story.
Yes.
And you piss off Wes Craven enough for him to leave for a little while. And even Kevin
honestly,
Williamson. And when
Scream
Kevin Williamson
7 seems like it's going to be the same issue.
And when Kevin Williamson isn't even available to write the thing,
yeah,
they still wanted to do it. And Wes was like, "Oh, I mean, I'm going to make it either way, but I would just rather want, Kevin to be here."
Yeah, Scream 6 was very solid in my opinion.
It was solid.
So yeah, I'm excited to see this crew working on other stuff. Especially if they're not going to be working on Scream movies, which, like, we'll have to figure out what we're doing when that movie comes out. Like, because I really hate how they handled the Scream 7. Like, if they had just gotten Neve Campbell and Kevin Williamson back in a role to work on that movie, I would have been down. But the way that the studio handled it is just so shitty, in my opinion.
You mean 6?
6? No, 7. Yeah. I'm talking about the next one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, there's nothing's confirmed on that, right?
No, I mean, no. The only stuff we have confirmed is that Kevin Williamson is directing, not writing, directing, and Neve Campbell's returning.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, well, I'm fine with those things happening, but I'm not fine with how you kicked out the new crew who was doing a good job.
Yeah, which that was the point of it. Like in most of those franchises, they don't keep the same characters. Like it's not Heather Langenkamp in every fucking Friday the 13th.
No,
it's technically in 2 of them.
Spoiler alert: she dies in her second appearance, which is the third movie.
Yeah, which is actually one of the best out of the sequels.
Yeah, no. Nightmare on Elm Street 1 and 3 are really close as far as quality wise, in my opinion. They're really cool.
3 out of all of them, 3 has the one that has the one death scene that still messes with me to this day. It's the one with the tendons and the puppet.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I feel like Nightmare 1 is the really creative one, just setting up the idea and the premise.
Dark, scary one,
yeah, and then the third one is the one that really starts exploiting what the premise is. Just how far can we take this? What can we do in the dream world? Yeah,
let's play around with this, and that's still kind of Wes tinkering with it a little, and it's just okay, cool. And then New Nightmare, which is
not as good as 1 and 3, but solid.
Solid, yeah, not as good, but solid.
Hey, it wraps up the series with after Freddy's dead, because oh god. Listen, the series didn't go good places after 3. Okay?
Oh no, they had the Dream Child, which was bad.
But going back to Abigail, so the core story is essentially Abigail is this ballerina, rich daughter of someone we don't know, kidnapped by essentially our main crew, who go by aliases of Joey, Frank, Rickles, Sammy, Peter, and Dean. They're all hired by Lambert to kidnap Abigail and bring her to this place and hold her hostage for 24 hours until her father essentially pays them money so they can split the ransom and call it a day. That's the entire plan. And it
Seems
goes off
pretty
without
easy,
hitch.
yeah.
They get rich at the end of the movie, and it's a good day. So, it was all right. Yeah, considering nothing really happened, it's
Nothing of
all
any
right.
importance
Yeah.
happened. Yeah.
No, nothing happened. Yeah, it all went
In-
uneventful.
Yeah, very uneventful evening. They all got drunk and had a fun time.
Yeah. No, it's Catherine Newton. That's the one who's at the at Horror Hound, but won't be at the panel. But anyways, she might be busy because she was in Ant-Man and Wasp 3, so she might be busier than the other ones. Anyways, yeah, the worst one. I don't know. Ant-Man and the Wasp 2 doesn't thrill me either. First one's good.
Yeah, that one was okay.
Yeah, it's like 2 and 3 are entertaining. There's elements I enjoy, but if I'm going to go back to watch a movie, that it's not going to be one of those two. But anyways, yes. So we got the crew of thieves holding on to Abigail, and then one by one they start dying. And they start hearing rumors about her boss being some sort of super powerful crime lord. And there's this horror story about how he was able to get through to this police secured building at the top floor that was heavily secure, and he just tore through everybody and left
it was
body parts.
150 men. Yeah, 153 men he just slaughtered.
Yeah,
ripped in half. Yeah.
There's this horror story floating around, and they're all are a little freaked out. And then we lose Dean first, who rest in peace, Angus Cloud. I did not realize that actor died until I was looking him up. But
oh yeah,
he was 25. But so he's the first victim. Sammy comes in and knows him just sitting on a chair. When she walks up, his head falls off. So okay. And Lambert's of course not there anymore. It's just our main crew that has no idea what's going on. Frank is the most sus of the bunch. And by the way, I like the cast here a lot. Melissa Barra and Dan Stevens, I just think are really good actors. Kevin Durand does a good job as essentially like the muscle dude. And then Catherine Newton actually does some very good physical acting when we get to, spoiler alert, Abigail's a vampire. And spoiler, she turns Sammy. And there's like some miming and some dancing that Sammy does. Very well done.
Yeah, that was like definitely a cool sequence in the film.
Yeah. So we got a talented group, and like I said, I knew Melissa Barra and Dan Stevens. Especially Dan Stevens.
Dan Stevens was such a piece of shit. Such a piece of shit,
dude. He almost always plays a piece of shit in almost everything. That's kind of his thing.
This is the first thing I've ever seen him in, and I enjoyed it. I was like, God, he's hateable.
Oh yeah, no, he almost always plays a seedy, wormy guy. That's
I like him.
Thing.
It's like, why? He's very hateable. I just know, nope, fuck this guy.
Yeah. But yeah, so essentially he is the most sus of the bunch. And essentially Joey's able to figure out that he is a detective, even though they're not supposed to be sharing personal information. But yeah, essentially it's revealed that he was one of the detectives that worked on the case where the 150 guys get torn apart. So he knows that story's true. But yeah, one by one they just start dying until they discover Abigail is just taking off her handcuffs and going and is actually a vampire. And it's not like the guy's sneaking people in. No, she's just one by one killing them. And it really seems like it's kind of set up. The setup isn't like they're going to hold her hostage and get paid. The setup is they're trapped in there to give her people to hunt. That was the vibe I got off that whole situation.
Yeah, they were locked in there with her.
Yeah, because when Rickles essentially says I'm out and just goes to leave, the door is locked, and then when he tries to actually get out, it all locks down.
Yeah, everything, and it's just like, yeah, this. And then there's the part where Sammy finds the disposal or the human graveyard in the pool.
Yeah.
That was, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, no, this was a really kind of fun movie. I know I watched it with my daughter. My daughter enjoyed it quite a bit, but she actually had two things. I think her fresh perspective actually adds a bit because it's stuff I didn't really think about. Number one, there is a decent amount of vampire lore in this for a movie that isn't like you aren't supposed to know it's a vampire movie going in. Because there's lots of stuff like the vampire being like the maker being able to control the vampire that they make. My daughter had never heard of that before. I was like, oh yeah, no, that's semi-common in vampire lore.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it's like Dracula stuff.
Yeah. But and actually I feel like this kind of messes with its own lore too. So lots of times, I think the lore I usually see in most of this stuff is like you become like if they feed off you, you'll just be injured. But if they feed off you and then you feed off them, you'll become a vampire. Now that's not quite true here. Here you can become a vampire either way. But if you feed off them, or if they feed off you and then you feed off them, you become autonomous, and then they can't control you. It's like, oh, okay, we're having some fun with the lore. I've not heard that variation before. But okay.
that I was kind of more of
okay. Yeah.
Okay, maybe is it like healing him quicker or what's going? I was confused with that, and then when I was like, oh, then like I was like, well, wait a minute, if he killed him, that would have caused him to die.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that was.
I guess as part of becoming autonomous is that like you don't get unmade, because that's also part of the lore. If they feed off you, and that's the only way you become a vampire, if the maker dies and you get unmade, which that's a vampire lore thing that pops up occasionally too.
Or you die.
Or you die. Yeah, those
yeah.
But I mean, I will say one thing I do really like in this movie. Obviously it sets up its own vampire lore, more or less. It's kind of based on a lot of classic lore, but also it's the characters figuring out exactly what mechanics are real and what aren't. Yeah, because like the second they realize it's a vampire, it's like, okay, garlic, holy water, wooden stakes, sunlight.
Yeah.
And by the way, Sammy's really good at finding onions, which is just like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like, I got garlic. No, you fucking don't.
That's onions. What the?
But yeah. I mean, I feel like we spoiled a solid amount of it. I like just to say this is solid. I recommend checking this out. This is a fun movie. Great cast. It's kind of fun seeing which ones fall first, and I'm excited to see the or at least semi meet them at the panel. Yeah. Enjoyed it. What, Bobby? What are your thoughts?
I enjoyed this very much. I kind of figured it would be campy a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, this is something I kind of wish I did see in the theater, because this would have been so great to watch in a movie theater, because I would probably be laughing more than getting scared.
Yeah.
Anything else.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. So there's plenty of horror stuff in this.
Yeah.
But like I'm so familiar with this stuff, like I'm more just having fun with it than actually scared. Like
yeah.
I'm most of the way through and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure only one of them might survive.
Yeah.
Everyone else is pretty much doomed. And yes, I was correct. But like, yeah, getting there was still fun. Yeah.
No, Ox, that no.
Oh, Reagan. Oh, I forgot to add that to the podcast, Bobby.
Oh,
don't you want to see Dennis Quaid?
Not really. I mean, I'd rather watch, Randy.
Oh God.
Just as long as he's not like.
I mean, dude, Randy is more insane, but probably more entertaining. I mean, honestly, his YouTube channel is probably more entertaining than the Reagan movie.
Yeah, it's a good way to lose 30 minutes of your day. Oh no, we're not going to watch.
It's not better because it's technically made.
Yeah, no, sorry, Ox. We're not watching the Satan biopic. I'm
Yeah.
the devil.
You know, I
himself.
would be interested in a something like that about Reagan that isn't like sugar coated, like an
Horrifying.
actual biopic that actually discusses how Reagan just
Like,
destroyed the fucking
yeah,
middle class.
yeah. I would love to see the hard truth on
Dude, do it like a horror movie, except Reagan's the villain.
They do.
The
They
middle
have
class
that.
are the victims.
They have something similar to that. It's the Tripper. I mean, the guy wears a Reagan mask and talks like him most of the time.
There you go.
It actually is Reagan. He's killing
yeah.
hippies. He's killing hippies at a music festival.
Listen, if I ever feel like torturing myself, I'll sit down and watch Reagan. But yeah,
Reagan's
Xenomorph.
Oh God.
Oh shit. I think
would it be the little mouth that would
the Xenomorph?
Well,
I
think
mean,
about if the Xenomorph would come out and then like it does the open, then the other mouth comes up, and then it just gives like a speech about Mr. Gorbachev. I want you to tear down.
I mean, I think that's cruel to compare Reagan to a Xenomorph though, because a Xenomorph just ruins maybe a dozen lives. Reagan ruins a fucking country. I mean, Xenomorph's got nothing.
Well, the facehuggers could do that very easily. So,
yeah.
And what by Reagan's actions? Yeah.
I think we've gotten derailed enough.
Yeah, we
Abigail's
have.
very good. Go watch it.
Go watch it. Yeah.
Yes.
And stay away from the Reagan picture.
Oh yeah. No, like if you don't know whether or not to watch Reagan or Abigail, watch Abigail.
Yeah, watch Abigail.
Close.
Absolutely.
But anyways, that brings us to season 2 of Superman and Lois, getting all caught up with this series. The last 5 episodes of the season, so we can finally just talk about kind of the whole season. And I will say, overall, I think this is a good season. I think it builds up nicely each and every episode. I do feel the finale is a decent letdown, but like I don't want to shit on the entire season just because the finale was a letdown, because there's so much good leading into the finale that I guess I thought we would get a little bit more Anderson, but I guess he's dead. So I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the last set was Anderson. Like the first set of episodes, we meet Anderson and he's the new Sam Lane general, except Superman and him aren't trusting each other. Then he ends up going to the alternate universe and finding out Superman's right, and then buying Superman the time he needs to get away. So he's a character I just wanted to mention simply because I thought he had a good arc. And it's resolved by the time we get to the actual episodes we're covering today, but didn't mention him. But yeah, today we get the episodes where like one of the big things happening this season that I'm kind of liking, especially this chunk of the season, is that they're kind of deciding, okay, maybe more people should go ahead and know Superman or Clark's secret. And obviously top in that list was Lana Lang, who like I thought they handled that very well. Like I was watching that and I was just like, man, is something gonna come up last minute because I'm
kind of surprised that she didn't already, or at least figure it out. Like
yeah. No, she obviously had no idea, and she dated
she's known him.
Clark
She's known him for how long?
Yeah,
and she hasn't figured that out yet.
Have you noticed that it never takes him more than 10 seconds in the bathroom?
I mean, not to say anything about how she'll be as the elected official here, but
yeah. Well, I mean that's
the same mayor in the first Jaws was still the mayor in the second film.
You know, I've never seen Jaws 2.
He's the mayor in the second film, which brings me to my next point, Bob: the importance of voting.
Yeah, we do have an election coming up, people.
Yes. Make sure
and it's very
vote,
important. We vote for whoever has the best chance of beating Trump, and it's that simple.
Yeah. If you please make sure you're registered to vote, and if you're not, get registered.
But Lana does become mayor. Yes.
Yeah. Let me get off that little.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and today is Labor Day, which is, I
Yes.
mean, I don't have my kids today, so I worked it because holiday pay is wonderful. But yeah, so the last third of this season builds up. We're getting Lana is the first one to learn that Superman is Clark is Superman. And I like the way like he just kind of goes out in the middle of nowhere and meets her in front of the truck, and she's like, "Hey, how did you know I was here?" And he's like, "Because I'm going to tell you how I knew you were here." And then
Yeah, I was like, okay, this is possible. That's like, and at first, like when I saw that, like him there, and I was like, okay, hey, how the hell did she not see anything land? Like, I mean,
yeah, but yeah, so
then going,
the
okay,
sec-
maybe she is a little oblivious.
well, I mean, the first, I mean, yeah, that's right. He doesn't even say I'm Superman. All he does is essentially he
Just
starts saying I'm going to tell you something, and then he just flies for a
takes
few
off his
feet.
glasses and then
Yeah,
just flies a little bit and freezes a tree.
yeah, and she's like, "What?"
You're Superman?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then yeah, and we get and then essentially it becomes a storyline about whether or not Sarah, Lana's daughter, will learn because Jordan wants to tell her because he's like Superman Junior. He's not officially Superboy yet, so I don't, I don't know what you'd call him, but like
Superboy
he's
in
got
training.
Superman parties, yeah. He's got
Superboy,
Superman's
man.
powers, yeah.
Yes. I kind of like how they made the other boy in the alternative universe kind of look more traditionally like Superboy, or at least how he's appeared in the books.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. In the comic books, John Kent definitely has powers. So
Well, both
we
the
will
boys
see.
do. You know, it's funny. The whole time during that the last fight with the Mind Hive,
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, you know who would really help in this situation right now? Batman. You know who would really help right now? Batman.
Well, that's one of the things. So like last season, it's we have that John Diggle cameo. Well, maybe a bit more cameo guest spot in episode to firmly establish that series takes place in the Arrowverse, and then the finale of this season. I had to look it up because I was really confused because General Lane was saying how Superman is their only superhero, and I'm like, no, you got the Flash, you got Supergirl. What the hell? And apparently during the pandemic, they weren't able to get the guest spots they wanted, and they just decide, oh, you know what? Fuck it, we'll just say this is an alternate Earth where Superman's the only hero. And I was like, I don't know. It seemed like an overreaction to me. I mean, I'm kind of used to
leaning into that Jesus analogy there.
Yeah, but yeah. Well, I mean, also, like, I think it's worth saying, like, saying Superman's the only hero. I mean, Steel's right there.
3 ox.
Is he like nothing?
That would be 3 ox.
And then, you also
then
have
he kicks
Jordan.
his own ass. Yeah.
And that's one of the things I do like what they do with Jordan this season, because like fairly early on, not long after Superman reveals himself to Lana, he faces off against Allie Alston after she's fully merged and super powerful, and she completely wipes out his powers, leaving pretty much the most powerful superhero on this earth is his son Jordan. He lacks experience, but he is definitely the most powerful one there is. And they give him lots of cool moments. Like there's that awesome moment where he has to face off pretty much against Allie's 2 acolytes, John from her universe and Lana. Who is like, I guess she's just getting the Superman treatment in that universe. Like, I do have some questions because it just seems like she's just a Superman in that universe. Bow wow.
I think it's kind of like how that government guy tried to have those super agents in the beginning of the season, and Superman's like, yeah, no, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
And Critical Ox, you are thinking of Superman 3. So Superman 3 sucks, but I kind of like the little bit where he gets like drunk and depressed and has to face off against himself. That is actually a cool bit in that movie.
Do you notice that throughout all of that, like his suit is darker and it's like a darker shade of blue when he's doing that, but once he feels better, it's that bright blue again.
Yes.
Yeah. I've always loved that touch.
Yeah, that part of Superman 3 is so good, and it's like, what is it doing in the rest of this movie?
It had to fulfill because they have the cyborg lady.
Yeah.
Mastermind, if I'm not no, not Mastermind.
I don't remember. It was weird.
Is it supposed to be like Brainiac? Yeah, that's Brainiac.
Maybe, yeah.
Computer, right?
It's definitely
Brainiac
not
is
Brainiac,
computer.
but yeah, maybe Brainiac-like for sure.
But like Brainiac's a computer, or is he from
Brainiac's an alien.
the alien? Okay, what's the computer virus? Like they're Ultron equivalent.
Yeah, I don't recall anything like that. But
Okay.
and in Critical Ops, I guess not live action, but comic books. Wonder Woman. If you follow Wonder Woman comic books, essentially the end of every single issue is a little adventure between John Kent, Damian Wayne, and Lizzie, Wonder Woman's daughter. In the future when they've taken on their mantles.
Little Justice. Little Justice.
Well, they're all grown up, but yes.
I know.
But yeah, so essentially the Superman is powerless, and they spend a lot of time, probably at least an episode or two, talking about how Allie is going to take over the world, and she's going to kind of merge these worlds, and Superman can't save them. They spend quite a few times saying this, and I'm like, oh wow. So like, I assume like Jordan's gonna have to come into his own, and then Steel and his daughter will definitely have assists. But like, yeah, this will be like, I feel like the season did a good job of kind of setting up Jordan to kind of, step it up. He feels he's not ready, but he's got to do it.
Yeah.
And then that's when we get to my big complaint this season, because when we get to the final episode, Superman just goes, "Oh fuck it, just chuck me in the sun, and then I'll be better." And then chuck him into the sun, and then he saves the day. And it's like, that feels lame. Like, why spend all this time talking about how he won't save them and he just saves them?
I was kind of wondering, like, how long were you keeping this one in your back pocket there, Clark? Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's what I would have done from the beginning.
I mean, it left me even a little bit confused because, like I was left with the impression he was pretty much just human at that point. But then like his brother is able to fly him into space. I'm like, wait, he can survive in space, so he's not completely powerless, right? Yeah. So it's this is a season. I love the storyline. I love like the build up to the storyline. It just feels like at the end they're just, I guess we wrote ourselves into a corner and we don't quite want to get Jordan to be full Superboy yet. So we will we'll just go ahead and bring Superman back and save the day.
Yeah. So let Superman come back here and be Superman.
And it is kind of wild because I feel like they had it decently well set up, because essentially they have him powerless, and essentially they're like, it'll be a couple years. If you rush it, maybe in a couple months you'll get your powers back. And it's like, okay, it seems like it's well set up, so like he's powerless, but he'll be back to normal next season. But it's like, nope, we'll just throw him into the sun, and then all's better and save the day. So yeah, I really I want to stress throughout, the first couple episodes of this season were a little slow for me. Then it picked up probably around the end of episode 3. And then from then on, I'm just kind of on board every episode. And then the last episode just kind of feels like, we don't know what we're doing. We're just going to have Superman fix everything.
Yeah, I could agree with you. Yeah, these ones definitely, I was quickly able to get back into the swing of it.
Yeah.
The ending was kind of a bit of a letdown too.
Mm-hmm. It's like, don't build up that like Superman's out and the people have to figure out a way to beat this without Superman, and then just have Superman save the day.
And they played more Ween, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
They played one of my favorite Ween songs this racked.
Oh, nice. Which one?
Transdermal Celebration.
Nice.
And they also played the bit of another one, which I was very surprised to hear, but then I couldn't help but notice, they turned the vocals way down so you can't hear what they're singing.
Oh.
Because the one that was playing in the bar, that song's called Bananas and Blow. Guess what that's about?
Well, obviously it's about bananas, and then
yes, correct, potassium. Sure, potassium and blow pop. Oops.
Sure. So yeah, I mean, like I was saying, overall, like I enjoyed this season. It's a solid season. Just wish the ending had something different. Just
Yeah.
magic Superman. It's like
Well,
it actually. I'm not gonna lie. It reminds me a lot of the ending of the original Superman movie, where it's like
a little
it's
bit.
such a good movie, and then like
At first, I was like,
let's
they're
just have
not
Superman
doing
fix
it.
everything.
I
Yeah.
was like, they're not doing that, are they?
Mm-hmm. It's
Oh,
not quite the same, but it's similar. It's a similar vibe.
I was like, wait, we gotta let them just like race around the earth.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, don't. I mean, the first movie, I will still never forgive it. It's like, Superman, you are not fast enough to catch these 2 missiles, but you are fast enough to go fast enough around the Earth to completely reverse time. Wait, what? What? I felt like one of those is way faster than the other one. Anything you want to add, Bobby?
Yeah, no, yeah, I
Okay.
think we got it all good.
All right, yeah. So that brings us to Rings of Power. The first 3 episodes just premiered on Amazon Prime late last month, and we're only on the second, so it hasn't been out that long. You might be like, "Hey, didn't you guys say Craven the Hunter?" Well, that's because they update the release date on Craven the Hunter, and I didn't update the podcast schedule. It was like, well, you know what? They released some Rings of Power, and I
that means Chaos fucked up, and I didn't have time to record a jingle for it.
I'm really skilled at it. Okay, no. I just wanted to throw a twist in.
Okay, M. Night.
Yeah, Hedgehog nerds. Like, I guess it's because in Grief Superman got enough juice to reverse time. I guess so. That grief juice is good. But anyways, Rings of Power. If you remember, when we talked about season 1 2 years ago, pretty much. For me, like, that was a slow burn season where it's like it starts out and I'm honestly not even really digging it. And then every episode gets better and better until we get to the final episode where I'm like fucking pumped and excited and like, wow, this is fucking good. This season seems to be setting up something similar. Although I will say these 3 episodes aren't nearly as rough as the first 3 episodes of the series for me. It goes fairly for me. And I will say, actually, I wanted to talk about this. The intro, the very intro, I actually kind of liked. So essentially, we have this other elf dude who's saying, "Hey, I'm Sauron, and I have a new face." And I was thinking, oh, did they recast Sauron already? That's not a great sign. But they're actually like doing like a prequel because we see that dude get murdered, and then Sauron just become like this like black goop thing, and then just have to eat people to regain his body, and then we see the Sauron from last season. And honestly, diving a bit deeper into the 3 stories, like this is so far very much a Sauron driven season with essentially his identity known to a couple of people, but trying to get the word out. Which is yeah, I'm enjoying that aspect of it. And also the idea that Sauron taints whoever he gains the trust of, he essentially kind of taints and can influence. Because we're seeing that a little bit with Galadriel and how she's interacting with people. It's not like she's like supporting Sauron or anything. She very much recognizes he's the enemy and the bad guy, but like he's able to get into her head a bit and like fuck with her. I guess, yeah. Broadly speaking, I'm liking what these first 3 episodes. I think they're better than the first 3 episodes of last season by a decent margin. But yeah, I'm still also kind of waiting to see where this goes because it could go interesting places, but we don't really know yet. Bobby, what were your impressions going into this?
Not being too familiar with the lore or the background, or not necessarily being that big of a fan of the genre of it. No, I don't want to say genre, just of the of the I guess series, Lord of the Rings in general. I'm liking where this is going.
Yeah.
It kind of took it a little bit to get to where I was like, okay, I like what they're doing. I like this. Where maybe like a third of the way into or after the first quarter, or like fourth of the second episode, is really when I was like, okay, I see what we're doing. Okay, yes, let's continue this. And yeah, so I'm enjoying that so far.
I mean,
I still have a harder time keeping up like with the characters just personally, but that also comes from just not being familiar with the series or the characters or that. Or
well, I will say there's a couple characters where it's like, yeah, I know 100% what their kind of role is. It's obviously Galadriel, Elrond, Isildur, Sauron. These are characters that like I've not read the appendices or anything like that. Back when I was in college, I did read the trilogy and the Hobbit, so like I have a pretty decent grasp of this, but it's been a while. But like, yeah, there are definitely a couple characters that where I'm like not quite sure where their story's going. Like the Queen Regent, not quite sure where that story's going. The dwarf story, I have a decent idea, obviously, because I guess getting into a bit more of the storyline here. Sauron goes to Celebrimbor, the maker of the rings, and essentially he's just kind of chilling outside. But Celebrimbor was told by Galadriel, "Do not trust Halbrand," because that's the name he's going by. He's going by Halbrand because nobody knows he's Sauron yet. And they're actually trying to get word out that he is Sauron, but all Celebrimbor knows is that Galadriel says, "Don't trust Halbrand." But he's just waiting out there like forever, and he's being told, yeah, he's injured. He's not in great shape. He seems like he has something important to tell you. And Celebrimbor's like, no, I was told not to let him in. We are not letting him in. Then after like a little while, he finally goes to talk to him, and he decides, okay, let's go inside and talk. Then Halbrand puts on this big old show about I am not who you think I am. Which is something Celebrimbor already knew. He leans into that, but he reveals himself as Anatar, this elf who is like this sage and this person who is going to help him make rings of power. And that makes Celebrimbor go, oh, he seems okay. I think I'll trust him. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of the where the story that's where the 3 episodes are kind of left off. Essentially, they're now going to work on rings of power for the dwarves and the humans. And I'm sure he's not going to make a master ring for himself and set the trilogy into motion. That's not going to happen. We're going to be fine. But yeah, I like the setup here. It's given me a lot of like I said, it's given me kind of vibes the last season where it's definitely building. We're getting like pieces put into place and seeing what happens with them. Except it's not as slow as last season. And right now I'm just waiting to see more of the pieces falling into place because obviously Sauron and Celebrimbor working together on the rings is it's interesting, a little scary. And then we also have this guy who's a hunter going after the stranger and Nori. And the stranger is someone who I have long since theorized I think is probably fucking Gandalf, but we still don't know his actual identity yet. We just know he's Ishtar, which just means wizard. But yeah, there's this guy who I guess isn't Saruman, but he reminded me a lot of Saruman sending somebody after him.
With the stranger.
Mm-hmm.
I have a theory. It's a wizard. I don't know if it's Gandalf. It might be Gandalf.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, Ishtar is actually what it's kind of the Lord of the Rings term for wizard. Okay. That's what they call him. But yes, I'm pretty sure it could be somebody else, but I think it's probably going to be Gandalf, which is, I think is probably a little bit off from the lore, but like, frankly, like I said, I've said this before and I'll say it again. There isn't really substantial lore for what they're writing here. What we're dealing with is like short stories and appendices and extra stuff added on later. There's no cohesive narrative really put together for this. It's like the first attempt to take all the notes and stuff that Tolkien has and form it to get some sort of cohesive narrative. I'm okay if they take some liberties for dramatic effect. I'm okay if they decide to drop in some Gandalf in there. It's got to be Gandalf. He said the same thing to Frodo and Moria. Oh, did he? But yeah, like I said, I'm enjoying this season so far. I want to see where it goes. And a little setup for next Thursday's live stream. I will definitely be going over the Chud reaction for this because they are definitely going to go after this because they went hard after season 1. Because they're all intimidated by Galadriel being a warrior. Because it makes them scared.
The blonde lady.
Yes.
They're intimidated by that.
No, they're not intimidated. They don't like it because it's not traditional. Which is I translate to be, oh, you're intimidated.
Okay. Okay. Bless their hearts.
Yeah. They really want to make it sound like they're tough or something, and they're kind of pathetic, but they're funny to laugh at.
I get it. She should just be, barefoot and pregnant. Got it.
Yeah, in the kitchen.
Yeah. Got it.
God forbid she be like a substantial character in the story, even though Galadriel is a pretty substantial character in Lord of the Rings. But shut up.
Their fear. Their fears. It could be amusing.
Yeah, it can be. Chronic Chaos. According to Tolkien, Gandalf did visit Middle Earth in the Second Age in a different form. Oh, nice. Don't you know Chuds hate pregnant women too? I'm not aware of that.
I was not aware of this. What?
I will say they probably hate pregnant women doing anything but staying at home.
What?
They probably hate pregnant women working. I'm sure of that one. And I will say, if that encouraged them to fight for more maternity leave, then I would be all for it. But
sign that,
just have them bitch and complain about it, and it's like that's not fucking helpful.
No, it is because they got their angle to play.
Yes, they do. That is true. Yeah, he did react to pregnant Spider-Woman in Across the Spider-Verse.
Right.
I forgot about that. That was so dumb.
That was fucking so stupid.
It's like it's a comic book story, bro. Move on.
It's a story about people going to interdimensional travel.
Yeah.
Like
upset one of them's kind of pregnant while they're doing the adventuring. Oh dear. I forgot about that. But yes, you're right.
For fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
For fuck's sakes.
Yeah. But
oh Jesus fucking
the only thing I will go ahead and say is Arendir, I want to say his name is. I don't remember it being pronounced, but like he popped up, I want to say in the 3rd episode, being his badass self, and I always appreciate his badass.
Yeah, that was the moment I was watching. I was like, oh yeah,
he's a super badass, isn't he?
That's right. This dude, this Billy badass.
And the other thing I definitely want to say is like visually, this is like gorgeous.
No, this does look very cool.
Yeah, effects wise, they're nearly seamless. They pump money into this, and you can tell.
I kind of like great. We saw more orcs. I did enjoy that.
I like that we get some of the CGI orcs, except they look a million times better than they did in The Hobbit. It's like I like that the regular orcs are just like the costume, but then you get, maybe they're not orcs, maybe I'm thinking of trolls, but like you get the bigger creatures who are obviously CGI, but like we saw those in The Hobbit and they look awful, and then we see them here and it looks really fucking good. So I'm really appreciating the work they do on the visuals on this series. It looks great. Yeah. Social media algorithms are easy. Yes, you're right. Like I was brain farting. That was definitely a troll in episode 3. But looked good.
What? The things that were picking them up?
Yeah, that
'Cause at the
giant
end of-
thing was a troll.
No,
yeah.
no. That's the tree people. That's the tree people. I guarantee it. At the end?
No, it was fairly early in episode 3.
Oh no, I'm talking about at the cliffhanger. Like that's definitely the drift. That's definitely those tree
I'm
people.
kind of assuming, yeah.
Yeah, I saw him in a teaser for like the second season after the end of the first episode. I was like, oh cool, the tree people are going to be in this one, and then just seeing those clips and going, oh yes.
But yeah, waiting to see where this goes. But anything you want to add, Bobby?
No, I'm excited to see where it is. I'm liking what it is.
Yeah.
For again, not being the biggest fan of it, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
like
enjoying
I said,
it a lot more than Wheel of Time.
Oh God,
a lot.
Wheel of Time is so fucking disappointing. That series kind of pisses me off.
It was rough.
The only time I'll ever go on an anti-woke rant so far is on Wheel of Time. It's like, why are you doing that? No, you're not adding anything when you do that. Stop it. Next week we got Beetlejuice. And then we're also going to be doing our Joker. We're going to look over Joker and Parasite, and then we're going to compare those two. I'll kind of give you guidelines on that because it will be kind of the return of At the Movies, guys. We're going to try to do At the Movies live with the two of us. And we'll see how that turns out. But it'll be Joker versus Parasite with the release of Joker 2 coming out soon. I'm kind of excited to see how that works out. And I need to start getting researching on it so I can give you some notes. But yeah, essentially I'll give you categories and what we're comparing. But yes. So yeah, I got Initiative stream on Wednesday, and then Thursday will be and I know we have a guest on the Initiative, and I apologize, I do not know who their name is. In fact, let me look them up real fast because I hate to sing, oh, I don't know their name. No, I can just look this up. I know. Mick Dizzle Gaming. So I haven't looked up his stuff yet, but I'm sure it's good. So yeah, he will be on the Initiative for Wednesday, and then Thursday I'll be doing my solo stream. We got comic books. You guys already voted for Night Watcher, and what was the other one you guys voted for? Oh, Ultimates. So I'll be covering those books. I'll also be covering Nightwing, and then assuming I'm able to track down an Absolute Power number 3, I'll be covering Absolute Power number 3. And then we will be looking at some of the Chud reaction to Rings of Power right here. So that'll be fun. Anything you have going on, Bobby? Horror Hound?
With Horror Hound?
Yeah. Anything at all, but yeah.
Horror Hound right now. I haven't actually heard back on my press, so I might just have my camera, and because I already have like a lanyard that I've wanted that I'm having sent to me, so I might just have my own makeshift thing.
Oh, okay.
Do that.
Yeah.
But I was actually just looking ahead into October.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. The FYI, guys, there'll be some of my the newer stuff for October, but I'm giving a lot of it to Bobby do Halloween stuff, so that should be fun. But don't worry, guys, we'll still cover Venom 3.
Yeah. Yeah. If we have time.
We're all excited.
Yeah, if we have time.
Oh yeah, no, and I did add Sonic the Hedgehog 3 to the agenda, which is
I saw that.
Like the Sonic movies are not amazing, but like they're fun. I don't know what to say. Like they're fun, and my son will love it anyway. So
Yeah, and I think Jim is returning for that one too.
what is it?
Jim Carrey is returning for that one.
Oh yeah, no, it's kind of funny. Like Jim Carrey essentially said, "I'm retiring from acting, except for the goofy Sonic thing."
Yeah, I'm gonna be back for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be ridiculous.
I'm gonna choose so much scenery.
Yeah. Hey, sure, yeah. But yeah, and let's see. And yes, Kraven the Hunter has been moved for December. So we got 2 Sony Marvel movies coming up, and I'm
So
sure
yeah,
they'll both be wonderful.
Well, for the big thing for October is since last Halloween, or was it 2 Halloweens ago?
Might have been 2 Halloweens ago when we did Frankenstein.
We watched the original Frankenstein, and I've always wanted us to get back to watching the different ones. So this year for October, on the 7th, we're going to be covering the original 1941's The Wolfman. And for October 14th, the 2nd October, that's well, it's close to my birthday, so I added a different one. We're going to be covering, but that year that week we're going to be covering 1943's The Phantom of the Opera, and a pick, one of mine that is going to be kept secret till we go live that day. October 21st, we were going to watch Creature of the Black Lagoon. And to end it all on October 28th, we will watch 1931's Dracula. The one that I know Chaos wanted to watch, that one the most. So I'm like, cool, I'll put it very last.
Well, I'm pretty bad at the Universal monster movies, and Frankenstein shocked me with how well done that was.
And
it's that's awesome.
Yeah, and you were talking about wanting to watch the Christopher Lee ones. I'm like, well, before we do that, we have to watch all of the main ones.
Okay.
And I think
get it.
Invisible Man is the only one that I couldn't find space for. We might double feature it for the 28th with Creature. We could do that.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything for the 21st.
Or the 21st.
We could always watch Star Trek Discovery. The scariest of them all.
All right, then.
All
so,
right.
yeah, October 21st, we're going to have the double feature.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we will have plenty of the yeah. It'll be a fun October.
Yes.
And then, if you're wondering, we still got Joker 2, Rings of Power, wrap up. We're going to wrap up season 1 of Arcane. And Venom 3 will be part of October as well, because they are the scariest picks of all. Very scary. Yes. I don't think I have anything to add. Anything you want to add before I sign us out?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. So everyone, party on and be excellent to each other.